Okay, so I think we've got enough things on the list because that's more than we can do. So let me just add this last one. Avengers, Pokemon. Well, any Pokemon we draw today, you can turn them into Avengers, give them Avengers costumes. So no more, I've got House and Tiger, no more requests because I've got a full list here that we're going to work through. All right, so first thing we'll do, we'll start off with a Pokemon because that was the top of the list. And the first one on the list was Snorlax. So I'll just show you Snorlax. If anyone doesn't know what Snorlax is, that's what Snorlax is. So we'll try and draw one of those. So let's see. He's big, fat, round. He's even a beanbag there. So we could start with, if we're going to do him laying down, we could start with the just lightly sketchy, sort of a big, fat bean shape. So rounded on each edge, but higher in the middle. So this is his bottom. These are the sides, and this is his belly at the top. You could then draw some circles here for his feet. Looks like a car. Just going to rub out the lines in the middle of that just to make it clearer. So I've got his body and his feet. Try and do something different. So it's not just him laying there waving. Maybe we'll make him eating. So let's draw another sort of partial circle from the top. And then, so we've got his head, his body, and his feet. And I'm going to draw his arms, one curving up like this, and the other one not quite as far. So they're thinner at the hand and thicker at the body. Like that. Okay, so let's do a little bit of detail. We'll look at his foot first. So I'll zoom in to this foot. He's got a circle in the bottom of the foot, like the pad on the bottom of his foot. And then he's also got 3 claws. So I'll draw like almost like a triangle, but the bottom line will be curved. So I'll go straight line, curved line, straight line, curved line. Almost like an ice cream cone. So he has 3 little ice cream cones on his feet. And then you can darken up those lines, rub out, clean them up a bit and rub out the roughness. I'm going to leave mine a little rough. So then we need to do the same thing on this foot. So do a circle for the pad on the bottom of his foot. We can get both in this shot, sort of like that. And then 2 sides of a triangle and then a curve. 2 sides of a triangle, curve. 2 sides of a triangle, curve. I'll zoom out again. Okay, I'm just going to round out his bottom a little bit. Curve it the other way. And then he's got a big patch on his belly. But because he's laying down, we're only going to see part of that patch. So sort of comes down and scoots up a little bit and then back around again. Clean up our shapes. So wait for everyone to catch up. Give me a thumbs up when you're ready to move on. Actually, goes just hello, hero, cool. Emily and friend, Joey and Layla. All right. So what I was thinking, we'll do his mouth open, like he's eating, and we'll do a whole bunch of berries in this hand that he's throwing in to his mouth. In this hand, there's a bunch of berries waiting. So just to make it easy, we could just do the berries as circles, because the berries in Pokemon come at all different shapes and things, but we'll just do them sort of a bunch of roundish ones. You can pile them up. He's got pretty big hands. So I've got there 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 berries. And he also has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 claws on his hand, but you're not going to see all of them. Just draw like 2 in there. So these ones are just waiting to be thrown in. So when you just putting detail on these berries, you could add spots or stripes or little leaves on the top just to make them look different. Little dots like that. Some might be stripy. There you go. We'll come back to this other hand, but now let's do the mouth. So from memory, yes, he does. He's got a couple of teeth. So I want to do his head facing this way, not side on, but sort of 3/4. So I'm going to do a line sort of down there very lightly because I want to rub this one out later. Because I want to do his big mouth. So I might just do his mouth sort of going like that. Big mouth open. And that line that I drew is going to be the line that goes down the middle of his face. So imagine if there was a line that runs down your forehead, between your eyes and down your nose, and then cutting your mouth in half down to your chin. That's where the line goes on him, on Snorlax. So we need to do his eyes either side of that. So he's got just line eyes, like slanty eyes. Do one there, either side of that line. And then he's got sort of a white, a flesh-colored mask, the same color as his belly, has his mask coming around. But at the top of his head, he has a little point on that mask, like that. And then that curves around the side of his head. So it's going round, 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 up to that point. So this is his head. And on the side of his head, he has two ears, and they're just two pointy shapes. So you can do a bigger one on this side because it's closer to the viewer, and a smaller one on that side. Now, if we've got all that face in, we can rub out that line we drew down the middle of the face. And because we want this arm throwing berries into his mouth, you can draw a curved line or two like that, and then some lines this way. So it looks like his arm's moving up. And you can draw his claws on as well. I'm not going to draw them on the end. I'm going to draw them sort of bent over a bit. Julian, you're restarting because you failed. It doesn't matter. But everyone fails at something. The drawing, it takes a while. It takes just practice. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 little claws. You don't have to start again. You can just rub out parts of it. Part of learning to do something is failing. It's the only way you'll get better is by learning how not to do it. You can't be perfect at everything the first time you do it. Okay, so I'm going to draw some berries. Try and keep them the same size as these ones. Sort of in the air. Draw a few different ones. Draw some in his mouth. Could be overlapping his mouth as well. Right, and then rub out that line in between. And to make them look like they're moving through the air, write a couple of little curved lines like that. Like he's just thrown them. And you can add spots and lines and things like we did before to the other berries. And we're almost done. The last thing we've got to do is his teeth. He has 2 teeth on the bottom. And then you could draw his tongue as a curve. Like that. I might shade this in inside of his mouth. And these darker furry bits, not his mask, like the back of his head where his ears are, his arms. I know it's on your screen, but you'll see it when I zoom out. And not his belly patch, but the rest of his body, and not the legs. That's all slightly darker. They're like a greeny color, bluey green color. And the pads on his feet are actually darker. So I'm just going to zoom out so you can see that. There you go. So I just did that by going back and forth Joey, that's cool. Yeah. And then I'm just going to use my finger just to smudge it a little bit. You will get a dirty finger from doing this, so don't touch anything until you wash your hands. Don't touch any clothing that's white or rub it on your paper. See, my finger's a bit dirty there. Shiny and black. It's from rubbing it on all the graphite. Layla, lower that a bit so I can see. Put it down, 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 down. Ah, lots of foods and things. That's great. Dante, that's pretty good. Emily, nice. Nice word. Is that Joey showing us? I can't tell who it is. It's cool. Oh, you're shading in. Oh, it is Joey. There you go. I can see you now. That's good. So that's Snorlax crossed off our list. Let's see, Ethan. Yeah, cool. You gotta just color in that bottom part as well, and you're done. So let's pick something from the other side of the list that isn't a Pokemon. Maybe we can combine a few things as well. We could try doing, has everyone done that? Can I take this Snorlax away? Hero, that's cool. Emily and Carl. Who's showing me? Emily or Carl? I can't tell. Either way, is that Emily? There you go. That's cool. Oh, Hero, you got the right color too. That's great. Okay, all right, so we're going to move on to, I might try doing a plain and a puppy, or should I do a plain and ice cream? Maybe I'll do both. So to do a plain, I'll just show you roughly. Sort of they come, it depends on what kind of plane. I'm thinking like a jet. Comes to a point and then comes back like that. Roughly, I think it might come up a bit. Why don't I get a picture of a jet up so I can actually see? I can't see the back end of it, which is what I want. Oh, that's right. Okay. Basically just like a cylinder that tapers down to a point. Joey and Layla, have you got a question there? I'm going to unmute and ask you a question.
What about you can try doing a Gyarados and a plane?
Yeah, okay, we can try that too. I don't want to draw a lot of planes, so we'll see. Lower hand. Okay, so that's sort of the basic shape for a plane, for a jet. And then on this bit, well, actually, you know what? Why don't I show you how to draw a jet? And then you guys can then turn it into something else. So this is the cockpit where the pilot sits, and sometimes a co-pilot as well. Let's see, there's like 1, 2 here. Put some lines through that. So the pilot sits in here and the co-pilot sits there. And then we have there we go. So then you can do the wing. That's it's going to come down a bit, sort of like that, with a straight edge. And then it goes back. So that's sort of the wing there. This has like a little cylinder shape on the end of the wing. The front usually has a little cap on it with a little piece sticking out the front there too. underneath. I'm not sure if that's like an intake valve. It may be an air intake thing that sort of comes down like that. Oh wow, Layla. Why don't you draw some muffins? You got ice creams and things. So this is Jet's a bit short, but at least it fits in the camera. At the back, the tail section comes up like that. It maybe overhangs a little bit. And then it has the tail part. There are little smaller wings at the back here. Just draw them on an angle like that. And then the jet part is at the back there. Okay, so that's basic sort of jet shape idea. So you could then design it, but you could put like, sometimes jets have big sort of teeth and a mouth with teeth drawn on the side like that. But you could draw whatever you want on their rainbows, and as I said, like you can do ice cream jet. So it could be maybe the front of it is a cone. I'm going to draw a smaller one up here. Maybe the nose cone is actually a waffle cone. That's great, Layla. That's really cool. Maybe where there's like an ice cream scoop, and that's where the pilot sits in the cockpit. I'm just going to draw a little guy in here. And that's where he drives, or pilots, I should say. Ethan, that's cool. Carl, that's really good. Good job. Trying to think, what else could I add on this ice cream plane? Excuse me. Maybe he has, I don't want to do more waffles and wafers. Green camo. Yeah. I'm going to do stuck into the ice cream, maybe some kind of cookie. So maybe not a round cookie, but maybe like a straight biscuit. Sort of like this, with lots of sugar on it. Sort of like, has everyone seen Wreck-It Ralph? Where they make the cars out of candy and stuff like that? Sort of like that. Maybe it's got 2 scoops of ice cream. Add a passenger cabin. Oh, that's what in the second scoop of ice cream could be the co-pilot. Like that. Someone else sitting in there. So you got 2 different flavors. Can have some sprinkles on there. Maybe instead of the tail part here, maybe there's a cherry on top with a little stick coming out. And the blaster part could be I don't know. I think of something round and sugary. Could be like an ice cream sandwich or something. Or maybe it's just like a sour strap. That just sort of flows in the wind like a flag with sugar all over it, or sour sugar. Something like that. So we got ice cream in a plane. You could have drawn, because we wanted to draw, one of the things was a puppy. We could actually draw a puppy inside this cockpit. So we could draw a sort of little head and little nose like that. Try to get a bit closer so you can see it. Now it's so close that I can't see it. I've got to look into my camera to actually see it. Draw his little nose. And we'll just give him one little eye. And a happy face. We'll give him sort of a long floppy ear. I'll rub that bit out. Oops. So small I rubbed out too much. And we could have his little paws going forward as he's driving. So there's a tiny little puppy, like this is my whole page. Look at that. That's my whole page, and look how tiny the puppy is. Zoom right in on him. Well, it's not focusing now. Focus on the puppy. There we go. So does that mean we've drawn a puppy and we don't have to draw one, or do I still have to draw a puppy? I can draw a better puppy. Oh, Joey made a paper airplane. What does it say on the airplane on the side? I have to draw a dog. Okay, Emily. Shasunk, that was pretty cool. Lift it up a bit higher. Oh, there's your Snorlax here. There we go. Yeah, that's a cool jet. Really cool. Carl, that's great. Awesome work. Hero. Oh, cool. Did you draw, is that a puppy in there as well? Did you draw a puppy? Oh, you drew the ice cream one too. Wow. Cool. That's good, Dante. Yeah, it's great. Okay. Well, we did so much just then. All right, let's draw. Since we just did two things there, why don't we do two Pokemon, but we'll do them having a battle. So we could do, we've got Eevee and Squirtle on the list. So why don't we do Eevee and Squirtle having a Pokemon battle? So I'll do one here and one here. So maybe, maybe this one will be Squirtle and he can be shooting a water gun. So the water's squirting around. So let me just draw that. So there's his head and his shell. And so we'll get these basic shapes. So this is down in the bottom left of my paper. See how close it is to the corner? So I have the shell, the back of his head, and his arm. You could even draw a foot and the tail. So like that. Gotta get that shadow out of the way. So just keep it loose and rough and press lightly. Ooh. It just started raining really heavily here at my house. It's very loud outside. Dante, nice hat. Okay, has everyone got that roughed out Squirtle? Because now I'm going to pull out a bit. And I want, maybe Eevee's jumping over the water splash. I'm going to imagine the water's coming maybe squirting around a bit like that. So it curves it up. Maybe it's like splashing here and it's like hitting a wall or something and it's splashing upwards. Sort of like that. Make this slide over so you can see the bit. Does that make sense? Looks like he's got a very long tongue going all the way around. Okay, so then I'm going to do Eevee up the top here. Maybe Eevee's jumping. The camera could be jumping to get away from the water. So sort of this shape, the head here. It's not too bright. There we go. Body a bit like a bean shape. I'll do one arm down, one arm up. Zoom in a bit. And then his legs could be back as well. And he also has a big tail, sort of a fox shaped tail. Just gonna sort of curve it down like that. Okay, has everyone got that? Thumbs up if you're ready to move on. You can just thumbs up to the screen. Hero's ready. Ariana's ready. Joey's ready. Shashank's ready. Okay. Most people are ready. So this is what it should look like, roughly. It doesn't have to be exactly the same as mine. Everyone has a different drawing style. But we've got Squirtle shooting some water that's splashing up and then bouncing up this way. And Eevee's up in the air. You could do like his shadow down here somewhere if you really wanted to make it look like he's jumping up. Now we're going to zoom in on Squirtle and we're going to do a bit more detail there. Okay. So Squirtle, just let me clean him up a little bit. Don't worry about that bit of the shell. Because just at the base of the tail, I'm going to curve it, the shell up. And then it's going to go around. So I'm doing a second row, basically. Like that. And this is the white section on the edge of the shell. And this is the top of the shell. Let's get some reference. I need to find the back of his shell. Oh, there we go. It's like almost like a soccer ball. Okay. Let's go to 1, 2, 3. 4, 5, 6. Got a hexagon. Okay. So let's draw a line curved line this way, that's going to show the middle of the back. So like when we draw a line down the middle of the face, that's going down the middle of the back because he's turned in what they call 3/4. So if we start with a line here and bring it down, this is the segments of the shell. And then we want to go out that way and out this way. And join that up to the edge of the shell. And we'll come up this way. Okay, everyone got that? Now we're going to do the tail. Now his tail doesn't curl up that way as if it curls up. It actually curls up that way. So it's coming from this side. We're going to keep some thickness to it. And then it has one little curl like that. Now his feet have 3 little toes on them. His hands have 3 little toes as well. But we're not going to see all of them. We're probably going to see 1, definitely going to see 1, maybe 2. And then where his sort of shadow will be, we'll just sort of shade it in. Give it a bit of a smudge. There we go. Okay, so we'll do his hand, or his arm next. So we'll bring that down and then do 1, 2, 3 little fingers. And back in. Now, when he's using his water gun, he's blowing the water out, squirting it out of his face. So I'm going to make his head a little bit bigger. And then come down and then give him a round cheek. So it came straight and then a big curve. And also to make it look like he's blowing a little harder, you can just add a little rosiness to his cheek. But you're not going to see much else because we're looking from behind his head. So if we continued that line up, he'd have a line up the back of his head like that. But we don't need to put that in. Now for the water squirting, move out a little bit. I'm going to sort of start it with a bit of some straight lines and even some little dots because it's sort of splattering a little bit. So see sort of a few straight lines there and splatters. And then as it gets longer, it's going to get sort of a bit wobbly and more wild and random. So we'll start with a little bump, and then it can get sort of bigger, and you can cross it over. You can do bigger splash bits coming off it. And even where it's sort of going to have bits where it's breaking off and starting again. And then down here, where it's doing all the splashing stuff, all this stuff, that's where you can draw some bigger shapes. And have, it's like the water's separating and flying off. And some points it's still together, because the water's hitting and hitting the ground here and being thrown in lots of different directions. You can just sort of make it up. It doesn't have to look exactly like water, sort of get the idea. See what I'm doing there? And then even when it curves back up, you can have some bits where it's broken off. And it's reaching up to get that Eevee. So that's a lot of stuff I just drew there, but just sort of make it up as you go along. Make it look like it's splashing and just make it look like it's splashing and sort of spreading out. You do some holes in it as well. And other little splashes, and don't forget to do like some tiny little bits of water, just little dots, and then some small circles and things. And I am seeing what you're writing there in the comments, so the extra things. So add them to the list. Nezuko from Demon Slayer, Dinosaur, Cuphead. I feel like I drew Cuphead the other day. Something. Okay, so we've got our Squirtle shooting water. Squirt over there, although it's a bit low. Should have been a bit higher, but anyway. So now let's concentrate on Eevee. So let me change this to get some Eevee. Okay, just a standard Eevee jumping. It's jumping up. So this ear, sort of leaf shaped, might be like that. This one might be about there. I can rub out anything in between. And maybe we can give him some angry eyes. So draw some eyebrows like that. It's a bit like Pikachu. And then we'll add in his big round eyes. Bring his head down a little bit. He's got a little dot for a nose, and you could do his mouth Open like that too. Does look like Pikachu, doesn't it? But we need to do the inside of his ears and give him some spiky little hair. Now in the eyes, zoom in. We're going to do some highlights. So we'll do the highlight over here. And then you want to do the dark part of the eye. The black part. And then you can just shade in the other bit just a little. Doesn't have to be all the way. Just to make it a bit darker. And clean up some of these lines. Try and get rid of that shadow. Sorry, I'm looking. Okay, almost done. We need to draw some of the fluff around his neck. So I'm just going to draw one down there. This one over the arm, two, one up there. You can make them look a little fluffy. Actually, I might put a fourth one in here. So when I trace those or add more detail, I'm just going to make them look a bit jagged, almost fluffy. Almost everything. And just add a little bit of detail on his toes, a little foot. Couple of little toes. Even on his back legs. There's a little foot in there. Some toes. And then his tail, you can trace around that and he has a little white section on the end of the tail. And draw it behind the water. And then show where the mark is. So he's actually darker. So the bit around his neck and the bit on the end of his tail are the lightest areas on the Eevee. So we can add in that shadow. Just show that he's jumping like we did on the Snorlax. You can do a few little movement lines. And then you have, oh, almost dropped my camera. Oh, light's going, I'm dropping everything. There you go. So when you're done, let me have a look. We're almost out of time. A Chico, that's really cool. I like that. I like your curvy water. It's good. Ethan, what is that? A doll. Just twist its neck around. Who else has got an Eevee and a Squirtle for me to look at? Who said that? Ethan, when you say shadow, do you mean the hedgehog? Okay. I've added it to the list. It's going to have to be for next time. So I've got, still got Rayquaza. We've got Dragon. We've got Gyarados, Dinosaur, Nezuko, Shadow, Cuphead, Lego minifigure, Avengers Pokemon. You could turn these into Avengers. You could draw a shield on the back, turn him into Captain America. House and Tiger is what I've got on that list. So, is everyone still drawing? Raichu, that's a big one. Ariella, did you draw the Squirtle? I haven't seen it if you did. Oh, Heroes one's pretty good. Yeah, nice. Oh, Jasper, that's good. Dante. Yeah, great. Your water almost looks a bit like a big hand. Oh, right in here, Raichu. Ethan. Wow. Cool. That's cool, Kyle. I like the way you've added the camo onto that plane. And Emily, nice. Good work. Okay, we've got like 4 minutes left. Let's try and draw something. One last thing, really quickly. Let's go with just trying to find out what's sort of the easiest thing to do. All right, let's draw a Cuphead. Cuphead's easy. You just draw a cup. So draw a big oval. And then from one side of the oval to the other side of the oval, just do a big U shape. Okay, has everyone got that? It's falling off my desk. And then inside this oval, we're going to draw a second oval. So a slightly smaller one. I messed mine up there. It's not quite the right dimensions, but that's okay. And then on the back here, we'll draw a big letter C. And, and inside that, we'll do a smaller letter C. That's the handle on the cup. And then we'll come up to the top and draw the straw. So his straw comes up out of the liquid, so you can draw a bit of a curve there. And then it has an angle on it. Rub out these lines on the inside of the straw. And put the stripes on, 1, 2, and he's got a crease. There, 1, 2. So he's got This one's red. This bit's red. You can draw also an inside layer because that's the liquid inside the cup. Okay, so if we, on the front edge, we'll draw a little curve like that. That's, as I said before, the line down the middle. And that's where we'll put his nose, little red nose. And then starting at that line, we'll draw one eye, big curve. And then the other eye will come down and go out to the side like that. So for the pupil, you want to draw a big oval. And then cut a little section out of it so it looks like Pac-Man. And do the same on the other eye. And the last thing, because we are out of time now, is his mouth. So we'll just do a smile mouth. You could do a little cheek and then a smile like that. Even a little line under his mouth. Rub out that bit. And we are out of time.
Yeah, I think we're out of time, everyone. Sorry. We can't draw everything 1 hour, so.
They're adding more and more too. I'm writing them down.
Okay.
We
What?
drew today.
Good. Thank you so much, everyone. Gonna unmute everyone.
Good job, Ethan.
Thank you. And I see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.